Evening, everyone. So let us quickly solve some related to ratios. But remember, here we are not focusing on calculating ratios, but we are trying to analyze the financial performance of few options which would be given to us. For example, in our case, there would be three companies. It can be two companies, it can be four companies, but it would be always more than one, wherein we will have these companies and we will have their financial data. With the help of ratios, we will try to evaluate their financial performance and then we would select the best company that we would like to start off. Okay, so let us first go through with few basic ratios that we need to remember. The first is liquidity ratio, wherein all this ratio compares any element with current liabilities. That is what we need to remember. Liquidity ratio hai kya? Liquidity ratio actually checks how much asset you have in order to pay off your current liabilities. That is what you need to remember. So there are three liquidity ratios that we need to remember, learn, and understand. One is current ratio, then the next one is quick ratio, and then cash ratio. Cash ratio is also known as super cash ratio. Now, what is current ratio? Current ratio में कुछ भी हो, it would be compared with current liabilities. Even with quick ratio, it would be compared with quick. It should be current liabilities, but we would be saying quick liabilities. And even in case of cash ratio, it would be compared with current liabilities. So if you see, सभी के denominators में current liabilities ही है. Okay. Now, since it is current ratio, so this current liabilities would be compared with current asset. So the formula is current asset upon current liabilities. Since it is quick ratio, instead of saying current liabilities, हम quick liabilities बोलते हैं, and this quick liabilities would be compared with quick assets. So the formula would be quick asset upon quick liabilities. And then cash ratio would be cash plus marketable securities divided by current liabilities. Now cash means cash in hand, cash at bank. Okay. So these are nothing but liquidity ratio, which says how much current asset or quick asset or cash that you have in order to pay off your current liabilities. So three ratios: current ratio, quick ratio, and cash ratio. Now let us move to the next ratio, known as turnover ratio or else activity ratio. Activity and turnover. Well, turnover is synonym for sales. हा, बंद करा. आणि मला आणखी 15 मिनिट लागेल. Thank you. So current ratio is I was into turnover ratio. Turnover ratio. Turnover is nothing but it's a synonym for a sales. Okay. So whether we learn fixed asset turnover ratio, current asset turnover ratio, working capital turnover ratio, or a stock turnover ratio, we have to remember we have to compare everything with sales. So here, fixed turnover ratio is nothing but sales upon fixed asset. Current asset turnover ratio is nothing but sales upon current asset. And working capital turnover ratio is sales upon working capital. And then stock turnover ratio should have been sales upon stock, but it is cost of goods sold upon average stock. I will explain why it is. But let us try to understand fixed asset turnover ratio. Now the formula is sales upon fixed asset. But remember, fixed asset has certain elements which has to be written off every year in the name of depreciation. So we cannot say sales upon fixed asset. That's the reason we say sales upon net fixed assets. Okay. Now, in case of current asset turnover ratio, we cannot say there's no complication in case of current asset turnover ratio. So just we have to write sales upon current asset. Now, working capital turnover ratio is nothing but sales upon working capital, but there's a formula for working capital. Working capital हम कैसे लिखते हैं? Current asset minus current liabilities. पूरे करंट एसेट में से पूरे करंट लाइबिलिटीज को हम माइनस कर देंगे तो वी गेट वर्किंग कैपिटल. तो सेल्स अपॉन वर्किंग कैपिटल, दैट इज व्हाट वर्किंग कैपिटल टर्नओवर रेशियो we will get by sales upon working capital. Working capital कैसे मिलेगा? Current asset minus current liability. Now moving to the next, stock turnover ratio. What is stock turnover ratio? We are trying to compare my sales with the stock. But remember, as per the accounting standard, stocks are always calculated at cost. So sales में there are few elements which are added in sales and we always add gross profit in sales. So अगर हमने sales में से gross profit हटा दिया तो we get cost of goods sold, which means we are recording sales at cost. Cost of goods sold is nothing but it is the amount of sales, but it doesn't include gross profit. So recording my sales at cost. क्योंकि as I said, stock is always recorded at cost. So sales upon stock के बदले में यहाँ हम लोग क्या लिखते हैं? Cost of goods sold upon average stock. Why not stock? Because we have two type of stocks. One is opening stock and the other one is closing stock. Apart from we know that the stock can be finished stock, then stock can be work in progress stock. So we are not going into that because it is not required. But in general term, अगर मैं generally बात करूं तो there are two type of stocks, that is opening stock and closing stock. So I need to take the average. The reason is I'm looking out for stock turnover ratio. So cost of goods sold upon average stock. Average stock का formula क्या है? Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2, and that is how we get average stock. So stock turnover ratio is cost of goods sold divided by average stock. So we will see few sums related to cost of related to the ratio, turnover ratio, also known as activity ratio. Well, cost of goods sold का एक और formula मिल गया, that is sales minus gross profit, one formula. The other one is opening stock plus purchase plus direct expenses minus closing stock. Minus closing stock यहाँ लिखा हुआ नहीं है, but I'm saying you this, so please remember. Opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock will give you cost of goods sold. What is cost of goods sold? कि कितने goods sold हुए हैं and I'm recording at cost. अभी goods को बेचने से पहले मुझे उसे बनाना जरूरी है. That is known as I have to produce them. So there would be cost of production which would be included. There are three elements of cost of production. एक तो opening stock होता है, means the stock which was used for production purpose, plus हम और raw materials purchase करते हैं for the production, plus there is direct expenses, that is expenses which is incurred in factory for production. So that is cost of production. इसमें से जो stock हम बेचने वाले नहीं है या फिर वो raw materials जो ऐसे ही पड़े हैं, that is closing stock, would be deducted in order to get cost of goods sold. It is just for your understanding. So we'll see how to calculate this now. Now let us move ahead and try to solve some. Let us solve some basic questions. Now, what if the question asks us to solve current ratio or quick ratio, or the question asks us to solve current ratio हुआ, quick ratio हुआ, then cash ratio. Well, now see this. These are all entries that you generally see in current asset. These are all entries which can be termed as current liabilities. These are current assets and current liabilities. Okay. Current asset में cash in hand, cash at bank हो सकता है. Either they can be mixed or else they can be separated. जैसे इस केस में cash in hand और cash at bank लिखा हुआ है. for L Limited, for P Limited, for G Limited. Three companies given to us. Let us first understand this current asset, current liabilities. Then we will try to understand what exactly the sum is. Current asset may, this is what you can generally see. That is cash in hand or cash at bank. Then sundry debtors, which you can also say sundry debtors. Then marketable securities, short-term loans and advances. Then temporary investment, outstanding income, or else accrued income. If it is accrued means outstanding. Okay, if your income is outstanding, then it is your current asset. And if your expenses are outstanding, that is accrued expenses, then it is your current liability. Then bill receivable, inventories, which is also known as stock, या फिर closing stock, and then prepaid expenses. Well, all these entries are nothing but current assets. Now, they are part of current asset. Now, if I tell you, see, this all are current assets, but these are the two which is non-quick assets. Okay, they are actually non-quick asset. What is non-quick asset? Non-quick asset मतलब ऐसे assets which should have been converted. See, it's जितने भी current asset है, I can convert them into cash. But this non-quick asset are as such जिसको मैं convert कर सकता भी हूँ और नहीं भी, and it may take a year and more than year, and there is a possibility कि ये कभी cash में convert ही ना हो. Inventories और prepaid expenses. मैंने कोई expenses किसी को पे कर दिया है, लेकिन ऐसा भी हो सकता है that he never gave me the services, और maybe मैंने आज पे किया है, and he promised that he would be giving me the services in the next month, which is my next financial year. तो मैंने अभी तो लिख लिया, but next financial year में वो गायब हो गया and I never got the services. So that is why there is a chances कि भाई वो jaldi realize na ho, not even a year. And even in my stock, in case my closing stock generally मैं next year उससे बेच सकता हूँ, but ऐसा भी हो सकता है that stock is no more existing, it has been lost, या फिर वो spoil हो गया, या फिर due to XYZ reason अब मार्केट में ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स का डिमांड ही नहीं है, तो वो 1 साल क्या 10 साल के बाद भी नहीं बिकेगा. Are you getting? So that is known as non quick asset. ये non quick asset है जिसको मैंने रेड में लिखा है. Just for your understanding, non-quick assets. Okay, so I'm keeping them in red. And what about the rest? This rest of them are quick asset. इनको हम quick asset बोल सकते हैं. They are nothing but quick asset. Okay. However, ये quick asset और non-quick asset इन सबको मिलाकर बनता है current asset. Now, what is current liabilities? Current liabilities, again, these are those liabilities which can be paid off within a year, but exceptions are always there. Just like non-quick asset, हमारे पास non-quick liabilities भी होते हैं. तो इसके बारे में हम पढ़ेंगे. But first of all, let us see what exactly we have for current liabilities. Current liabilities में outstanding expenses या फिर accrued expenses, bills payable, sundry creditors or sundry creditors, then short-term loans and advances, outstanding income, short-term loans and advances. So it will create a confusion for you. Listen very carefully in order to make you understand this short-term loans and advances. ये current liabilities में भी दिख रहा है और current asset में भी. If you have given loans and advances to others, then it would be a part of current asset. And if you have received loans and advances, then it would be your current liabilities. क्योंकि आपने loan लिया है, you have received short term loans or advances, then it would be your liability. What if in the question you do not have given या received करके, या फिर how will you judge or identify कि given entry, that is short term loans and advances, is a part of current asset and current liabilities? Then listen very carefully. Short term loan हुआ, advances नहीं देंगे, then short term loan is a liability. Okay, and advances, when you give advances, then it becomes current asset. But for your understanding, if it is short term loans and advances, always considered it as current liabilities. अगर उन्होंने क्वेश्चन में बाइफर्केशन नहीं दिया है करंट एसेट और करंट लायबिलिटीज का, तो ओके. नाउ, income tax payable, you haven't paid your income tax. Dividend payable, you haven't paid the dividend. This all are current liabilities. Income received in advance, you have received something in advance, so that is the income, so it is your current liabilities. Now, bank overdraft and cash credit is also current liabilities, but these are non-quick liabilities. Bank overdraft, I can delay the payment. I can make the payment right away. एक दिन में भी pay कर सकता हूँ, एक साल या 10 साल के बाद भी pay कर सकता हूँ. Okay, provided I'm okay to pay the charges which would be levied by the bank. Okay. Similarly, cash credit, that is on credit cards, they also charge, interest. And if I'm happy to pay the interest, then I can delay the payment of my credit card, that is cash credits. So these are non-quick liabilities. Why we are doing it? Okay. अभी cash ratios कैसे आप calculate करोगे? Sorry, current ratios कैसे calculate करोगे? Quick ratios कैसे calculate करोगे? And cash ratios कैसे calculate? The first thing, you will write the formula. What is the formula? Current asset divided by current liabilities. अब जितने भी है for L limited, first you will do it for L limited. Okay, because now remember, हमारे पास तीन कंपनियां हैं, that is L limited, then we have L limited, we have P limited, and we have G limited. Okay, so current ratio का formula, current asset upon current liabilities. So I will take all the entries which are in current liabilities, means current asset, and then I will calculate all the entries of the current liabilities of L limited, और मैं इसको divide करूंगा and I will get current ratio. Now, इसके लिए you have to individually write. First, you will write current asset upon current liabilities, and then you have to write current asset में जो जो entries है, just you have to write the name. Okay, and then at first at the denominator, मतलब ऊपर की तरफ current asset का आप पूरा नाम लिखोगे, फिर नीचे की तरफ आप पूरे current liabilities का नाम लिखोगे, फिर उसके बाद दूसरे entries में इन सारे नाम के against में numbers को लिखोगे. Okay, and then you will divide with the help of your calculator. Now, since Excel gives me an opportunity कि मैं इन सारे चीजों का टोटल कर सकूं, so I will get, इसका मैं टोटल करूंगा तो मुझे मिलेगा, say this here, 41,000. I will get 41,000, and then I will divide this 41,000 with the current liability, which is how much? 85,000. Okay, so but then I will use the calculator and check what exactly the current ratio is. Similarly, P limited के लिए भी मैं ऐसा करूंगा. Okay, what is the total? 43,000 for P limited. See, this is the P limited. 43,000. We check for P limited. And then current liabilities for P Limited, it is 45,000. Then similarly, I will do it for P Limited. Okay. And for G Limited, what I will do here, G Limited may, okay. So पूरे current asset को मैं calculate करूंगा, which is actually 87,000. Then I will divide this with current liabilities, which is 92,000. I would be using my calculator, and with the help of this calculator, I will. Okay, now I would be using my calculator. First thing I will do is 41,000 divided by 85,000. I will get 0.48. 0.48. What the ratio I'm getting for F Limited. Now I will calculate for 43,000 divided by 45,000. 0.96. I will round off. 0.9555 आ रहा था तो 96 I will write. And then 87,000 divided by 92,000. 0. Yes, 5 minutes, please. 0.95. Okay, so I have current ratio. On the basis of current ratio, if I finalize, then I would say the best option, okay, would be G Limited. P Limited, L Limited. Yeah, the best option would be P Limited. Why P Limited? Because इसका जो current ratio है, it is best as compared to L Limited and as compared to G Limited. We have LPG. So comparatively, P Limited has good current ratio. Okay. Similarly, I need to pass, see every ratio that we calculate, because it's not a question of a ratio analysis. It's a question of choosing the best company on the basis of the ratios that you calculate. So every ratio which has been asked to you, on the basis of the ratio, you would say that this is the company that you would favor for or would like to opt for or start your business with. So based on current ratio, I would like to start business P. Okay, rather than starting business L and business P. So my answer would differ for quick ratio. My answer would also differ for cash ratio. Okay. Now let me quickly calculate the quick ratio. या तो आप पूरे current asset लिख सकते हो और उसमें से इन दोनों entries को minus कर सकते हो, या फिर सीधे जो current asset के अंदर quick asset है सिर्फ उनको ही लिखोगे, because what is the formula for quick ratio? The formula for quick ratio is quick asset divided by quick liability. Okay, this is what the formula is for the quick ratio. What is quick asset? Calculate कर लो यहाँ से यहाँ तक. It is which is 29,000, and then quick liability, which is 77,000. Similarly, I will do that for P Limited, which is 36,000. You take your time and check, are you getting the same amount, same figure? 29,000. And for G Limited, 77,000 is the amount of quick asset and 80,000 is the amount of quick liability. Now I just need to divide them and get the answer for me. 29,000 divided by 27,000. 0.38. 0.38. Now the next one, 36, 36,000. 36,000 divided by 29,000. 29,000. It's 1.24. 1.24. 1.24. And the last one is 77,000 divided by 88,000. 0.875. Round off current. That is why we are writing 0.88. Okay, so what should be my decision based on the quick ratio? Again, it would be P Limited, one of the best company as per quick ratio. Now, how do we calculate cash ratio? Cash ratio का formula क्या है? Cash plus marketable securities. Cash plus marketable securities, and it has to be divided by current liability. See this, I have already calculated current liabilities. मैंने current ratio में already calculate करके रखा था. So I have the denominator current liabilities for all the companies. Now I need the numerator, that is cash plus marketable securities. क्या उन्होंने सीधे सीधे cash और marketable securities दिया है? Yes. अगर दिया है तो just you have to calculate them as simple as that. Okay. So here 1 plus 8 is 9,000 for L Limited. Now for P Limited, it is 2 plus 7, that is 9,000. And for G Limited, it is 10 plus 30, that is 40,000. So let me now quickly calculate and wind up this sum. 9,000 divided by 85,000. It will give me 0.105. So if I write 0.11 मैं लिखूंगा 0.11 round off किया है मैंने. I hope so you know the concept of rounding off. Now 9,000 divided by 45,000. 9,000 divided by 40. And I hope so you know कि मुझे डिनोमिनेटर का अमाउंट कहाँ से मिला है. 0.2. By the way, you should know it's 0.2 means 0.20 है. Okay, 20 है जो कभी आपको दिखेगा नहीं, but 20 है 0.2. Now the last one is 40,000 divided by 92,000. 0.4. 0.43. Okay. So which is the best one? 0.11, 0.20, that is 20. 0.43, of course, 0.4. This is something that P Limited should learn from G Limited in order to maintain the cash. So based on the cash ratio, we would opt G Limited as the best option as compared to L Limited and P Limited. I hope so you have understood. That's it for now. For activity ratio, we will do, I would make one video if possible, and then you may get an understanding how to calculate for activity ratio. That's it. Bye for now.